It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix ever. We're a stone's throw from the enormous Port Phillip Bay for today's race at the 3.28 mile Albert Park circuit. It's a bumpy racing surface here and the 14 corners could prove especially difficult in the wet conditions. So watch out for a safety car at some point during this Grand Prix. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas, Norris and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Albon, Joe, Daniel Ricciardo and Anderson, Latifi and Mick Schumacher. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Natalie Pinkham, good to have you with us here today. Your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? As a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Okay, you've got a drive-through penalty. Okay, now... Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Okay, now stay alert for threats around you. just ahead. Come on, push hard. They're on a fresh set of inters. Vettel's behind you. Less than a second separates you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Our gap to first place is 10.4 seconds. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. Okay, good work. Great pass. Gap to your teammate ahead is 6.6 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. They're in fourth. Time last lap was a 1:34.7. Okay, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. Okay, there have been further incidents on the track, so officials are moving to a full safety car. Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, overtake the safety car. You may overtake the safety car, it's waiting to pick up the leader. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Okay, we're sat in P12 now. Stroll is ahead of you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of inters. Albon behind. Less than a second separates you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, so gap to the leader is 20.2 seconds. Your pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. conditions are only getting worse. Watch out for standing water. Inters look like the best tyre for now. Rain's getting worse. Go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember there's no overtaking until the timing line. Safety car in this lap. By around 5/10 a lap. Green flag. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be now, keep it up. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The last lap time was a 1 minute 36.9. This is great. We're gaining by around 9/10 a lap. Keep it up. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Copy. P9, you're running P9, keep going. Okay, Magnussen ahead. Less than a second separates you. They're on a fresh set of inters. Gasly behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of inters. The distance to the leader is 8.8 seconds. The pit window doesn't open for more than 20 laps. Okay, 50 laps to go. Bottas is ahead of you now. Okay, gap ahead is 1.3 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:35.8. And you're closing by 4/10 a lap. Keep it going. Our gap to the car in front is 1.6 seconds. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment, just be careful. Bottas ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 1.6 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1 minute 35.8. We're currently trailing our teammate by 6.2 seconds. With this weather, we're watching the amount of standing water on the road, and for now we think it's safe to stay with the Inter. Radar suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while now. track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. Over to full wets. Come in and change your tyres if you need to. Okay, Lewis is in for his stop. Second place, you're in second place. Leclerc ahead, and gap to the car in front is 7.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Verstappen behind you now. They're on a fresh set of wets. You've got 18 laps until your pit window opens, and that's 46 laps to go. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. The AlphaTauri drivers in the pits. First position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. They're on a fresh set of wets. Pit window will be open in 17 laps time. Pit window opens in 17 laps. We've still got 45 laps to complete here. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Got that confirmed. Looks like it's going to be getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track yet. Inters and wets will probably have very similar pace at the moment. Verstappen's behind, and the gap behind us is 3.6 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:40.2. Strategy available on the MFD. Verstappen behind you now. Okay, the gap behind is 2.0 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:36.1. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.4 seconds. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, copy that. Forecasts suggest the rain's going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. You should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are so far no plans for a safety car. Strategy available on the MFD. Understood, copy that. though. The intermediates are definitely starting to struggle. Might be time to move on to the full wet. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, we lost the position, trying to keep... There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Leclerc's taken the lead. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Available on the MFD. Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. An incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful. Copy that. Leclerc is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 2.8 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:41.8. Come on mate, you're down by 0.8 a lap. What have you got? front is 6.7 seconds. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Yellow flag. Okay, a few drivers are fitting full wet tyres. We might need to change soon. Green flag. Okay, you sat in P2. Leclerc ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 10.5 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. That's Alonso behind. They're on a fresh set of wets. You've got 10 laps until your pit window opens. Pit window opens in 10 laps. 38 laps to go. The rain's getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Full wets seem like the best tyre for now. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Copy. Okay, we can take you this lap. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. P12, you got P12. Albon ahead. They're on a fresh set of wets. Okay, shoes behind you now. Our gap behind is 6.0 seconds. They're on old wets. Okay, gap to leader, 27.9 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. 37 laps to go. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Confirmed. The circuit's definitely looking better than it was a few minutes ago. If we could just move a bit more of that standing water, we might be able to go on to the intermediates. 9 seconds. Okay, the gap to the car ahead is 5 seconds. Let's see if we can bring it down. Teammate ahead is 17.9 seconds. It's Verstappen ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 6.1 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 36.0. Come on mate, you're down by 0.8 a lap. What have you got? Front is 5.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Their tyres are 5 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1:36.0. Come on mate, you're down by 0.8 a lap. What have you got? seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Time last lap was a 1 minute 35.8. Alright, at the moment you're losing 3/10 a lap. Come on, dig in. 0.0 seconds. Currently P11. Magnussen's ahead of you. And gap to the car in front is 6.1 seconds. They're on old wets. Albon behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 8.8 seconds. They're on old wets. Our gap to first place is 32.1 seconds. Look after these tyres now and we're going to finish the race on this compound. Catching the car ahead, well done, but be aware these tyres need to get us to the end of this race. Okay, Magnussen ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 4.8 seconds. They're on old wets. They've done 14 laps on those tyres now. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:38.5. This is brilliant, you're taking 2.5 seconds out of them each lap. Magnussen's ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 3.4 seconds. They're on old wets. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 38.5. This is brilliant. You're taking 2.5 seconds out of them each lap. Tyres are getting too hot, you need to cool them down. Find some standing water. gap to the car ahead is 1.5 seconds. They're on old wets. Their tyres are 16 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:38.4. You're gaining by 2 seconds a lap. Amazing. Not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. Okay, so this light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Inters seems to be the fastest tyre for now. Job, nice overtake. Okay, you're in ninth position. Norris just ahead, push for the position, and gap to the car in front is 1.6 seconds. They're on old wets. Gasly behind. Less than a second separates you. They're on old wets. Okay, so gap to the leader is 30.4 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 29 laps to go. Okay, it's borderline, mate, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure on the right ones for these conditions anymore. Okay, some information on Gasly. They seem to have an issue. Verstappen's ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 1.5 seconds. They're on old wets. Their time. Guys are 11 laps old now. The car ahead has damaged the front wing, but it seems fairly minor. Your last lap time was a 1:37.5. You're gaining by 1.6 seconds a lap. Looks like it's probably about time we change tyres. It's a bit of a crossover period for sure, but the longer we stay, the worse it's going to get. That's P7 now, P7, it's Verstappen ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 1.8 seconds. They're on old wets. Norris is behind you, and the gap behind us is 2.1 seconds. They're on old wets. The distance to the leader is 31.4 seconds. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops. Let's go, 27 laps to go. On now. Come on, let's go and switch over if you need to. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 3.0 seconds. We've got a gap of about 3 seconds between you and the next car. Okay, clear. Increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap. Car in front is 2.0 seconds. about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well. Lewis is in the pits now. Sainz is in the pits. Caution, caution. Lewis ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 4.5 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. We're in P4. Lewis is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. That's Sainz behind you now. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, gap to leader, 36.3 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. And that's 23 laps to go. Cars are coming in for inters. It's touch and go, but could be worth a risk. Be ready for it if you want a box. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 4.5 seconds. Behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done. Okay, I reckon we could probably get away with intermediate tyres now. You're going to find it harder and harder to keep the wets cool from here, but the inters should be easier. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap. been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are so far no plans for a safety car. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. You're in 8th place. Lando's ahead of you now. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, Bottas behind. Okay, the gap behind is 5.0 seconds. They're on old intermediates. Our gap to first place is 42.0 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. You've got 20 laps left until the end. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Got that confirmed. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Pace is strong, but be aware these tyres need to go the distance. Other teams are fitting intermediate tyres. It might be worth considering changing yours too. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. It looks like we're running on a dry track soon. Back to dry shortly. You're running P9, keep going. Bottas is ahead of you now. And gap to the car in front is 2.8 seconds. They're on old intermediates. Magnussen's behind. They're on a fresh set of inters. Your pit window's now open. Pit window is open. Hey, if you don't behave yourself from now on, we're going to end up disqualified. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. copy that. Okay, you're in ninth position. Bottas ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 6.2 seconds. They're on old intermediates. Gasly's behind you. Our gap behind is 2.4 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. The pit window is open. Pit window currently open. Okay, 18 laps to go. Our gap to the car in front is 8.3 seconds. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. But officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now, just be careful. Available on the MFD. Understood, copy that. P9, you're running P9, keep going. Bottas is ahead of you now. Okay, gaps in the car ahead is 15.3 seconds. Ricardo behind you now. Okay, so the gaps in the car behind is 1.1 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Your pit window's now open, pit window is open. Alright, 16 laps to go. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that. Blue flag. Okay, black flag, we're out of the race. We're not racing the car behind, let them pass when you can. Understood, stopping this lap. Okay mate, I'm afraid that's race over. The stewards have black. Okay, P15. You're in P15. Okay, Magnussen ahead. And gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Gasly behind. And the gap behind us is 3.9 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Right, 15 laps still remaining. Perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet. I'm afraid that's our race. Fighting today, Gasly and Latifi. Okay, gap ahead is 2.0 seconds. Manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Magnussen's ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 10.3 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres, and the time last lap was a 1:32.0. You're creating some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds a lap. Really good stuff. And you've got P15, P15. Okay, Magnussen ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 10.5 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Gasly's behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of inters. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. 13 laps to go. Gap to the car in front is 9.8 seconds. Okay, black flag, black flag. That's a new fastest lap of the race. That's our race over. Okay, Leclerc's just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, our best lap so far is a 1 minute 29.4. Currently the fastest lap is a 1:29.2. Okay, P15, you're in P15. Magnussen's ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 6.9 seconds. They're on old intermediates. Gasly behind. Okay, the gap behind is 3.8 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Okay, we're into the last 10 laps now. Okay, it's borderline, mate, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure on the right ones for these conditions anymore. Okay. Gap to the car in front is 6.7 seconds. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Copy that. And that's us in 10th position. It's Perez ahead of you. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 4.6 seconds. They're on a fresh set of inters. Ricardo behind you now. They're on fresh softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's available on the MFD. Copy. Okay, you're in ninth position. Bottas ahead. And gap to the car in front is 26.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. That's Ricciardo behind. Our gap behind is 1.2 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, 7 laps to go. A new strategy available on the MFD. Dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second. P9, you're running P9, keep going. Bottas is ahead of you now. Okay, gap ahead is 24.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Ricciardo behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Alright, 6 laps to go now. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. You're currently in P10. It's Ricciardo ahead of you. They're on fresh softs. Okay, Tsunoda's behind you. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 2.5 seconds. They're on fresh softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Alright, 6 laps to go now. Blue flag. Okay, black. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Okay. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Confirmed. That's us in 10th position. Albon's ahead of you. They're on fresh softs. Okay, Tsunoda's behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, just 5 laps until the end. P10, you're currently in P10. Albon just ahead, push for that position. Our gap to the car in front is 2.2 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Zhu behind, less than a second separates you. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 4 laps remaining. Okay mate, I'm afraid that's race over. Green flag. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time and there are so far no plans for a safety car. Okay, that was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals. Okay, black flag. Perez is behind you, and the gap behind us is 1.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Time last lap was a 1 minute 28.9. And that's us in 10th position. Albon ahead. Okay, gaps in the car ahead is 8.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Perez behind. Okay, they're on old softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Blue flag, blue flag. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining, 5 laps of fuel left. Pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. And here we are, a team that Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Charles Leclerc assumes the lead in the standings after today's outstanding result. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Anderson. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was an absolute pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Another team that excelled today were Williams, who make further progress up the table. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.